Everyone. I am so sorry. I'm really trying to figure this stuff out. This is my first time, so bear with me. Okay, I see we have 3 people, and let me just kind of check on a couple things here. Can you help me with that? 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 Why was it like repeating? What's happening? Okay, are we good? Am I good? Why does it keep doing that?
I don't know. Are you on live now?
It says I'm live. I can't see. Oh, why on earth does it keep doing that?
Ask if you can hear me.
Can anybody hear me? Can you guys all hear me? It says I'm live. Oh, there we go.
Let's see.
Okay. How do I see the messages? Hide all, I don't want to hide all chat messages. There we go. So why can't I see the chat messages? Show chat.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Oh goodness. I feel really silly. What can I say? Okay, so where did that go? Where did that chat go? Thank you, Brenda. Yes, I'm live. Thanks, Olivia. I
Try
appreciate
turning
it. Okay, and then orientation is locked.
Down there.
How do I unlock orientation? Oh my gosh, this is... Okay, well, you know what? It's my first time, so I really hope you can all give me a break on this one. But can you reposition this now for me then, so that it will be portrait view instead of landscape? And you'll have to move the light as well. Okay, all right, guys, let's get started. I'm figuring out all my technical difficulty stuff. We tried to do this live with some software, and then apparently because I had set it up in advance to be done on my mobile phone, the software wouldn't work, and I don't know, you know, it's just a big mess. So anyway, hi, Shelly. Okay, so let's get started. We are going to start with our yarn, okay? And in a minute, I will set up so that you guys can see what I'm doing here. Thank goodness for my husband, that's all I can say. So, now, depending on how big you want to make yours, you'll use between 1 and 3 skeins of your 7-weight chenille. And that's all we need to start with, okay? So let me get you connected up here. Are we good? Can I get her in? Can I get this in?
I don't know how to turn your thing on.
Oh, sorry, I gotta turn this around, don't I? Oops, you're looking at the ceiling. Well, that's over. Just a moment. No, that's not gonna work. Let's see, get this up here. There we go, I think. We good? And turn my camera around. Oh, there we go. Okay, let me see. I'm gonna have to push my table. Boy, that doesn't give me much. That's not a very good view. God darn it. Okay. Live and learn, right? Live and learn. I'm gonna be coming away with probably a lot of lessons learned today. So, where's my other finger? There it is, okay. Am I even? Even Steven? Okay, good. All right, so now I just need to make sure that you guys can see everything that I'm doing. And then Chad, can you help me out? If you guys have questions, don't hesitate to throw them in the chat. And my husband, he's gonna help me catch those so that I can answer them for you right away. I love this live thing because it's nice and interactive for the most part. I wish I could hear you, but that's okay. All right, so you guys are already probably ready because, you know, that's how you roll. I usually am ready. All right, so here we go. Now the Easter basket, I'm really excited, by the way. I think this is gonna be a lot of fun. All right, so where am I? Okay. All right, so for those of you who do not know how to make a magic circle, I'm about to teach you and show you a trick. Well, a couple tricks, okay? And if you absolutely still can't get the magic circle, then I'll show you, you'll just chain 6 and join with a slip stitch to the first chain, okay? And I will demonstrate that for you as well on a different ball of yarn, okay? So I'm just gonna come up just a few inches here, and I'm gonna wrap the yarn around my hand and put the working yarn behind that first strand. Then I'm just gonna go under the strand, pick it up, and drop a loop, okay? Now, here's what you've got. You've got a circle, and you've got the tail end right here. Now, before we do anything, we're going to close this loop by drawing up a loop through it, okay? Now this loop here that we just closed is the loop that is going to help us pull this tight. But with this big chunky yarn, this twisting of the yarn around the circle is no bueno, okay? So we want to untwist it, okay? But we want to make sure that we keep it close. We don't want to bring it out so far that we've undone our stitch, okay? Because remember, this here is attached to this. So we just grab it, okay? Grab it, kind of pull a little tighter on that, not on the working yarn side, on the other side, to kind of close that up just a little bit. Not too tight. You don't want it too tight because you want to be able to pull this and close it around your stitches, okay? So how's everybody doing? Everybody doing okay?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. All right, so moving on. Here is my loop for my single crochet, and we're going to single crochet 6 around this magic circle, okay? So here is my working yarn right here, and I'm going to wrap it around to draw up that loop, leaving the yarn in the back of the work. And then I'm going to draw the working yarn through both loops to create that single crochet, okay? Now again, on the magic circle, you don't want these stitches to be so tight that you cannot pull this through because the yarn will break. I've done it many times because I'm a super tight knitter. So don't make the same mistake I do. You can knit tight the rest of the way, okay? But for now, it's gonna be a little bit loose. So there is our first single crochet right here. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a stitch marker there. Oh shoot, where did I put that? Well, I have a stitch marker, but apparently I don't know where I put all of, oh, right there, honey. My, one of those big triangles that I made for the increasing and decreasing have clips on them. It's the blue one. Are there clips on that? No, the other one, the other big one. Yeah, just grab me a clip from there, would you?
Clip.
Yeah, I just need the clip, thank you. Okay, here is my clip. Oh, I was having an anxiety attack and I forgot to get my stitch marker on my tray of goodies. Okay, so now we can see that that tail end is secure and we've got one single crochet. Now we need to make 5 more of those. So again, we draw up a loop, keeping our working yarn in the back, and then we grab our working yarn and pull it through both loops on our finger, okay? Now we're gonna do it again. Not too tight, remember? Drop that loop, reach for that working yarn, and close that stitch by pulling a loop through both of the loops. Okay, so we have 3. Drop another loop, keep our working yarn in the back, and there's 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you can see I'm kind of running out at the end here, and I don't want to do that right now. So we can kind of tighten this up as we go and just pull firmly. Don't pull too hard. And if you're having trouble, you can see where that is pulling from right here, okay? So you just kind of stretch it a little bit and you find that in there and you can maneuver, you can manipulate it that way with your fingers, okay? You just have to find where that's coming from. There we go. Now I need to leave a little bit of space here because I've got 2 left to do. Did you all see that? Was that good? Gosh, I feel like I'm not in the center, am I? Here, better. It's kind of delayed. All right. Okay, so.
Snug.
Yeah, okay, that's okay, Shelly. No worries.
She's lost already.
That's okay. That's okay. We will, I will show you how to do the chain 6, okay, in just a minute. So there's no need to feel dumb because this is not easy. This does take practice, okay? So it is a bit harder, but I think there are some people who do have enough experience that they do know how to do this. So I just want to show you what it looks like then with the 6, and then we're gonna just draw these close. So I've got my 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, okay? And then I'm just gonna tighten that up. Maybe, see, gotta work with it a little and you have to be patient with it because it requires patience to do this chunky stuff with this magic circle, but it's doable and it's so much nicer than doing the chain 6 because it really closes that up. that hole. Like it's hard to get your finger through that. I need a crochet hook to pull yarn through that center now that I've tightened that up, okay? So now before I go any further, I'm gonna do the chain 6 and join for those who need to do the chain 6, okay? So I'm gonna grab another ball of yarn here. Okay, and so the chain 6, Chad, you're funny. Sorry. Oh, my husband is the Chad, by the way. He thinks he's funny. All right, so I'm just gonna come up a few inches, same thing. I'm gonna make my first loop, my chain, about 2 fingers wide, and I'm just gonna chain 6. So there's 1, 2, 3, then 4, 5, and 6. Okay, so we have 6 chains. Now we want to connect our chains, and we want this braid to be on the outside because we need to be able to work our single crochets through both of the legs on this on these chains. Okay, so we are going to turn it over and we're going to come around to the tail end, and we're just going to join this with a slip stitch. And actually I prefer to join this way. So, this is more of a seamless join, where you take your chain and you bring it around the back and use it like the working yarn, and you're just placing it under both of those legs from the first chain, and then we're going to make this a little bit bigger, okay? This will be your first loop, and you'll be able to work a single crochet through both of those legs without it causing a problem. A slip stitch is less even. So now what you're gonna do, okay, so here's your tail, right? Here's your tail end. Once you get to a point where you're done with the base, you're just going to weave this tail end through all of the legs, like the bottom or the top leg, whatever that is, and cinch it together. I think most of you know how to do that, right? But if you don't, I'll show you how. So we just, this is actually gonna be my top. So I wanna do it down here. I wanna do it from the bottom. So I'm gonna come around here, and I've got it there. I'm gonna come back around and thread it through the second bottom leg. There's the third bottom leg. There's the fourth bottom leg. There's the fifth bottom leg. Well, really the sixth, because I haven't done it through the first one yet. But then you just cinch it, right? And this gets kind of weird too, right? You kind of gotta really make sure you. So anyway, so now you have to really know, and I'm just showing you this now. You're not gonna do this now, by the way, okay? You're gonna do this later after you've already crocheted. But that's basically how you're gonna cinch that up, okay? So if you did this, undo it and redo your chain, okay? And do this cinching later. All right. So, now, you're gonna work your single crochets exactly the same way as we do around the magic circle, okay? You're going to have to first, gosh, where is this? Okay, for those of you who are doing the chain, you're going to have to work these first 6 stitches, okay? Because you're just working off of a foundation chain, basically. So you will want to single crochet through each chain and go through both legs. Does everybody understand that? Who's doing the chain 6? I just want to make sure you do. Do I need to demonstrate it? Just answer yes if I need to.
There's a delay, so.
I know. Okay. How many people do I have in here?
9.
9 people? Oh, okay. All right, so everybody's good then. All right, so you go ahead and single crochet your first 6 while I show people who are doing the magic circle.
It's Snug Book said something.
Oh shoot, I'm sorry. This will be, Shelly, this will be posted to my channel, so you'll be able to rewatch it, okay? And of course, if you need any help, you just let me know. All right, so we are going to place this stitch here in our first stitch of our magic circle, and we're going to draw that loop through to create the first loop of our single crochet that we're going to make here. So we've got this cute little round magic circle, okay? Now, what we want to do is we want to increase in every stitch around, which means we put 2 stitches, 2 single crochets in each stitch around to double our stitches to 12, okay? So to do that, we're going to just place our yarn from our working yarn under both of those legs on that first stitch in the magic circle, and we've got both of our loops, and we're going to draw that through both loops again for our first single crochet. And I'm going to place my stitch marker there, okay? Always place your stitch marker on the first single crochet. Now, we'll work the second one by pushing the yarn under both legs of the single crochet, and then we draw up a loop through both of those loops to close the single crochet, okay? And now we have 2 single crochet in our first magic circle single crochet. Now we're going to continue doing that. So here's our second stitch, and we're going to place 2 single crochet in that stitch. So there's 1. Is everybody good with doing a single crochet? And there is 2. Okay. Next, the third one, we're going to do 2 single crochet. There's my loop, then draw a loop through both loops. Then our working yarn goes under both legs again, and we pull a loop through both of those loops to close it. There's 2 more. We'll do 2 more through this one. There's one. And there's two. Okay, we've got our next single crochet. Place that working yarn through both legs. Thanks, Shelly. There's two. All right, and we've got our last single crochet around this magic circle, and we'll do one and two. Now, obviously, this is not going to be big enough for an Easter, well, I don't know, maybe you want to do a really small Easter basket. So, you know, it would be, goodness, it would probably be about 4 inches in diameter on the inside and then 6 inches on the outside. So you could certainly do a tiny little basket if you'd like. But you do have to have an even number of stitches on your base for this stitch pattern that we're going to be doing for the wall, okay? So here we've come to our first stitch. And again, we want to make that smooth connection. So we're just going to take this loop and we're going to place it through both legs of our first single crochet. And we do have to make this loop a little bit larger because of we just do, because that's just how it works, okay? We need a longer loop there to work that. And now we're actually going to stagger our increases because that will keep the shape round. So we doubled our count here, okay, by adding 1 increase in every stitch. So how the second round of increases works is that we will increase every 2 stitches. So we would increase in one and then a single crochet in the next one to have 3 stitches in 2 stitches, okay? And this is how the pattern goes for each round that we work beyond this. So round 3 would be, we would have to work 1 increase for every 3 stitches. For round 4, we would work 1 increase for every 4 stitches. Does everybody understand this concept? Because I'm not going to be able to go through all the way unless you guys want to hang in with me for like 2 hours or something. I don't know. And that's certainly a possibility. Anyway, I just want to make sure that you understand that concept because this is how you're going to make it bigger if you go beyond what I'm doing in the live stream. Okay. All right. So now we've got our loop ready for our first single crochet. So I'm just going to do a single crochet here, and then I'm going to increase on the next one. So on this second one, I'm going to do 2 single crochet in that stitch. And then I'm going to repeat that going all the way around. So I'm going to single crochet 1. I'm going to place my stitch marker back here, okay? And then I'm going to increase in the second stitch of our 2 stitches, okay? So there's 1 single crochet in the first, and in the second, here we're going to do 2 single crochet. There's 1 and 2. We're going to do it again. There's 1, and then we do our increase in the second stitch. So there's 1 and 2. One in this first stitch, then 2 in the next. One again, then 2. All right, we're at our last 2 stitches, so 1 in that first one, and we'll increase in that second one. So if you want to stop here, your basket will be about 8 inches in diameter on the outside and 6 on the inside. All right, so now we're going to continue. I'm going to do one more round, okay? Just to make sure you all understand the concept. So we're on the 3rd round of increases, which is actually the 4th round because we did our magic circle here. But our 4th round of increases is going to be, I'm sorry, it's our 3rd round of increases. I'm getting ahead of myself. Okay, this is our 3rd round of increases, so we want to do 1 increase for every 3 stitches now. So we did a single crochet and then we did our increase. So how about we do an increase here, and then we'll do 3. We'll do our increase here, and then we'll single crochet twice, okay? So that's what we'll do. So increase here on this first one. So there's 2 stitches in 1, and I'll place the stitch marker in the first stitch. And then we're going to knit single crochet the next 2 stitches. So we have 4 stitches in a span of 3. And then we're going to repeat that same sequence around. So an increase here, and then we're going to do 2 single crochet.
Something about a magic circle.
I know, Shelly, the magic circle gives people trouble, but I promise you it's worth learning. Next 2. Okay, now we're going to increase again. Get more yarn apparently. Okay. What did I do here? Did I say I was going to increase? Yes, I'm increasing. That short-term memory just doesn't work as well as it used to, can I say? And then we'll knit the next 2 stitches. There's 1, there's 2. Okay, we'll increase. 1 more in that stitch. There we go. and then we'll knit the next 2. Oh, and I messed up somewhere. I messed up somewhere, didn't I? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I'm just going to double increase here. 1, 2, and we're going to increase, or I'm sorry, single crochet in the next 2. There we go. Now we have come full circle, okay? And I'm going to show you how to work the PHAT Weave stitch pattern to build your wall. And this stitch pattern is so nice and thick. It is kind of like a Tunisian crochet, but not really. It's not a Tunisian crochet stitch, but it's thick like one, okay? Which is nice, and that's what we need for these, or the walls of a pet bed or basket or whatever it is we're making. Okay, so here we are, stitch 1, and we're gonna do the same thing here, is we're going to place this through both of those loops just to connect them. Now we want to keep this pretty side. This is the right side of the work. This is the wrong side of the work. Okay, we want to keep our basket, this right side of the work up. And so we're actually going to be turning it around so that our loop is right here closest to us. And we're going to start working through the front loop only of our stitches, okay? So what we can do is actually, sorry, I made a mistake. This should be going through the front loop only, okay? So this is the front loop. And I'm gonna redo that so it's just going through the front loop, because this is our first stitch in the round. And I'm going to place my stitch marker there, okay? Now, this particular, this stitch is gonna need to be, it needs to be a little bit longer because this is a thicker stitch. So it will, it needs a little bit longer of a loop. I'm used to this size loop, and I'll just show you the difference. This is 2 fingers. This is normally the size loop that I do. It's just the tip of my thumb. Okay, so that's a big difference for me. This one's kind of challenging for me because I really got to pay attention to make sure I make my stitches, you know, two fingers at least with some room. Okay, now let's get our working yarn set up here. We're going to place our stitch marker back there, and we've got our next, make sure, yeah, the next one is right here. Make sure you're going into the right stitch, and we're going to, God darn it, I'm so sorry. Oh my goodness, we're going to knit through, not purl through, okay? So just do it that way. There we go. Look at that, that works. Gosh, I'm sorry, you guys. I know it when I know it when I see it. I'm like, no, that's not right. What's going on? Okay, there we go. So we're knitting through the back of the top loop, not purling, okay? All right, so now we're gonna continue with that. So there's my first stitch. This is the easy round. All you do is knit through the front loop on every stitch, okay? Easy peasy. So we're just gonna do that. Everybody knows this. I know you do. I'm being a smart ass. Sorry. Oh, I don't think I can say that word.
too late.
Oh gosh. I did say it wasn't kid friendly. Can you cuss on YouTube? I don't know. I suppose. Oh, you can? Oh, well, never mind. I guess I can say that word. Okay. Almost there. How are you guys doing? Anybody following along or just watching? Okay. Now we've gone all the way around and we've got these loops all over and they're all sticking up, right? Okay, so here comes the fun part. This is a new technique. I have no idea if the Kai stitch or whatever stitch, you know, they called this and would never release a pattern for it. I have no idea how that's worked, but this is my version of that particular stitch, okay? So what we're gonna do is we need to create a chain from our working yarn. So to do that, we're just gonna twist, okay? It's kind of the same thing as when I create my, my first chain on my foundation chain. So all I do is twist, right? I don't care what way you twist, it doesn't really matter, but I twist mine so that the working yarn goes over instead of under, okay? Then we're gonna grab this up and we're gonna wrap the working yarn around our knit stitch and we're gonna work a chain. We put the loop in front of that knit stitch and then we closed it around that knit stitch to work another chain. Now this chain we want behind the next stitch and we're going to chain one again. This chain will stay behind this one and we'll bring this chain in front of the next knit stitch and we're going to wrap it around and we're going to close it. Yay, it's really cool. I love this. It really is very similar to Tunisian crochet where you get the braid, you kind of get the braid on the back, on the inside. So it's really pretty on the inside as well as on the outside, but it certainly doesn't look the same. Okay, so we've just, we've gone in front of our next loop. And so here, I want to show you real quick, the reason why we need to create these a little longer is because you see how fat that is, right? And it's got to be able to come over to, you know, over that horizontal bar that we're going to be creating all the way around while weaving these knit stitches around our chain, okay? So basically we're just making a series of chains, but we're wrapping every other knit stitch when we work our chain. We're wrapping it because we're placing it in front of the knit stitch and wrapping it behind to kind of creates this nice little pocket for to hold that knit stitch in place, okay? So here I am again with the chain that goes behind the next one. And so I'm going to make another chain and I'm gonna place that knit stitch right in the pocket, okay? Right in the pocket of that chain and knit, or make another chain around it. Then this stitch is gonna go behind, gonna create another chain. Then I'm going to place this chain in front of the next knit stitch and put it in that pocket. Then we're going to chain another one, which will go behind the next stitch. Now we'll chain again, and we're going to place this chain in front of the next knit stitch, and we're going to wrap it to chain another one. That is going to go behind this next stitch. Then we're going to chain another one, place it in front of the next knit stitch, and we're going to wrap it and knit and work a chain around that knit stitch. Now this chain stays behind, so we're going to make another chain that's going to go in front of that knit stitch. We're going to wrap it and close that up with another chain, which is going to go behind this stitch. I really hope you guys can see this well enough. And then create another chain. And this chain is going to go in the front. And we're going to wrap it and close that chain by creating another chain. Now we're behind this stitch. We're going to create another chain and place it in front. Then we're going to close that up by creating another chain, which goes behind the next stitch. So we're going to chain again, and that chain is going to go in front of the next knit stitch. I sound like a broken record, but I hope you guys don't mind. Okay, so now we're in back, and we're going to create another chain. We're almost to the end here. And we're going to place this chain in front of our next knit stitch. And then this one is going to be behind this one. So we just chain again to place the next chain in front of do I have 24 stitches? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 20, 21, 22. Well, my count's off, obviously, because these won't meet up like that. It's, you know, oh wait, yeah, I'm where I'm supposed to be. Okay, I'm irritated. Sorry, I need to get off. I need to get over that. Yours should come out to where yours is in the back, okay? Because we started with the chain in front, and then we went behind. Yours should be coming up with your chain in the back. I have miscounted, obviously. Yeah, I have 23. Oh, darn it. I knew I messed up on that. So sorry about that, guys. So, but anyway, you're going to be going under, okay? Or your stitch is going to go in the back. Chad, can you bring me that paper that's on the printer downstairs? Okay, so now here we come to the part where we need to get these working together, okay? So what we need to do is from here, this chain in the back, in back, we're going to actually knit through, or we're going to create another chain, okay? And we're actually going to slip this through our first knitted stitch from the first round of our base or our wall, okay? So you see these knit stitches. We need to knit all these knit stitches that are kind of hanging out around and above this horizontal bar we've created. Okay, so you're just going to pull that up and it becomes your first knit stitch on the second, or on the third round, I should say. This will be your third round going with the weave pattern. Okay, so I'm gonna do mine the way it's working out, just because.
You said just to pull it all out.
Oh, pull it out. You're funny. Just pull it all out. Oh gosh, it's so annoying. I hate when I make mistakes. It's so annoying. Okay, all right, so there we've got our first stitch again, and now we're just gonna do the opposite. We're gonna continue with the knitting all the way around. Okay, we're gonna knit these knit stitches all the way around. Make sure you knit every single one. They should alternate from front to back in position around your basket. I can't tell if they can see.
You can see.
They can't. I can't. Like it's. Oh, okay. It looks like I'm cutting off at the bottom, but I'm not, I guess. Uh-oh, what happened? My next live one is gonna be so much better. Ladies, I really appreciate you hanging out with me and struggling through this with me. It means a lot. Can you get it? Yeah, thank you. Okay, so we're knitting around. Okay, so we've knit all the way around and we've got our nice big long loops for our fourth round, which is going to be our vertical bar. So this is a 4-row repeat. And we are on row 4 of our repeat, I think, right? Are we on row 4 of a repeat? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, we are. All right, so no, we're not. We're on row 3 of our repeat. Sorry. It starts with the vertical bar, the repeat does. Okay, so again, we need to start weaving, and we can just look below to see that this was a horizontal bar in front. So now we know we need to place the horizontal bar in the back of this stitch, okay? So what we need to do again is we create that chain by just twisting the working yarn, okay? So we're twisting the working yarn and then we're working a chain through that, like we're making a foundation chain, okay? Super simple. Then we're going to wrap this, place this chain in front of the next one. Did I change this out already? Do you guys remember? I think I did. I did, right? Oh yeah, I did. Did I start a new?
You're doing great.
No, okay. Oh, okay. So yeah, so we're gonna wrap this around, close it within that chain by creating another chain, and that's gonna go in the back of the next one. And we'll create another chain here, and then we'll place it in front of the next vertical loop or knit stitch and chain to trap it in there. Okay, now this chain stays behind this one. We're going to create another chain and place it in front of the next vertical stitch and trap it in there by closing the chain to create a new one. This one stays behind, so we create another chain and we place that chain in front of the vertical stitch and trap it by closing up that chain with a new chain. That chain stays behind, so we create another chain. Then we place the new chain in front of the next vertical stitch and we close it. This one goes behind, create another stitch or another chain, place it in front, close it up, trap it in there. This one stays behind the next stitch. This chain goes in front of the next stitch. This one stays behind, so we chain again and place it in front. Stays behind, chain again, place that chain in front of the next knit stitch, create another chain that stays in the back. The next chain will go in front of the vertical stitch and we trap it by creating another chain, which will go in the back of the next stitch, and then we're going to chain again and we're going to wrap that stitch and close it up. And then we're going behind and you'll end with one in front. I will not. So once you get the one in front, we've just done our vertical bar. So we want to create another chain. We create a new chain, and that new chain is going to be knitted. We're going to pass this first knit stitch of our round. We're going to pass this over our chain, our last chain that we create, to replace or to form the first stitch on the new round. Okay, and now again we're going to be knitting all the way around. Okay, so easy peasy pumpkin. Pumpkin easy, I don't know, does that sound right? So yeah, just knit around. And then you're going to continue in that manner of changing each round, weaving, you know, front to back, changing which direction it's going to be once you work that horizontal bar. And I just ran out of yarn. Oops. So I'm just gonna, oh, not that end. Okay, so it's and it's probably coming on time. I don't even know what time it is. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Thanks, hubby. That's fine. Okay, so there we go. And now you will end this pattern on a horizontal bar because the very last row is going to be your knit stitches and you'll want to bind them off as you work them, okay? So that's how this pattern works. And I think you can see that it's this really cool weave looking thing. And I think Brenda made a point that it looks very much like the double seed, right? I think. So oh, sorry, Shelly. I just heard him say it. He's like in the living room and I just heard him say it kind of under his breath, but it was loud enough for me to hear anyway. That's funny. That was from Shelly. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. All right, so there we go. That's what it's gonna look like, and it's super cute on the inside too, because you can see it gives this nice little braided, like kind of bubble look. That's really fun. And once you get the rim done, it will look like this. And this guy is really big. So this is my 14-inch, my 16-inch, you know, on the outside and 14-inch on the inside diameter. Everybody knows how to bind off, right? I mean, do I need to go through that? Everyone knows how to bind off. So again, you're gonna work the horizontal bar, then you're going to, when you work your vertical bar, that will be your bind off chain, okay? So that's how you will bind off. Now, we have the handles to get to. So let me, oh look, isn't that cute? It fits right in there. That little ball of yarn. Is it in there? It should be. There we go. Super big delay on my end for what you're seeing. Okay, so now we're going to work the handles, or you can cut your grass. You know, you need to cut your grass, and I think I went through that in the materials required. So I'm not going to go through that. You can do that whenever you're ready. I will show you how I set it up though, okay? But now we want to get our stems, our floral stems out, and just kind of decide how big we want them and where we're going to put them, okay? So I'm just going to kind of bend mine together, both of them. And I think I just want like a smaller, I think I want a smaller one. So I'm gonna just bend it here, and then, is that about right? Bend it here, and then kind of see, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I've got mine as from start to finish 10 stitches, it looks like. And maybe I need to, I maybe need to shrink it up. I think I need to shrink it up to 9. You kind of got to eyeball this and place it how you want so that it'll sit how you want on your basket. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to separate this now, and I'm going to make sure I know how many count I have here. So what I want to do is I want to stick this in here. This is my first time. I'm doing this, you and I are doing this together for the first time. This is just thoughts in my head, and I hope that it works. If you guys have a better idea on how to make this work, you know, I'm down for hearing it. So I'm just twisting this around here, trying to anyway. Okay, and then I want to kind of twist it back in through. I know it seems kind of wobbly. I'm just doing this with one end right now. Okay, we'll do it with the other end once we get our balls or beads or whatever it is that you have. Maybe I need a wrench. Grab this through here. I can't even find it. Oh, there it is. Okay, there. Figure this out. All right, I'm just gonna pull that. There we go. Okay, now I'll figure out what to do with this in a minute. So now what I want to do is I want to start threading my little pom-poms through this. Okay, so I'm going to get my felt wool felt balls that I have, and I'm going to get my upholstery needle, and I am just going to poke a hole through this baby, and I don't think it's going to go easily or as easily as I would want. I'm just, I'm using my table, by the way. See, I've poked a hole here. I'm using my table to poke the hole through. But what I really want to do is kind of try to make that a little bit bigger. So I need, so this end is bigger. I'll pull it all the way through, and then I'm hoping that creates a large enough pathway to get this baby on there. And it doesn't. Darn it. That's okay. I'm going to figure that out because I am going to get this. Maybe I need my bigger upholstery. Can you give me the other upholstery needles on the table over there? Those big long ones. I think they're bigger around, aren't they? Are they bigger around or just longer? Just longer. Shoot. Okay. Hold on. Really gonna try to get that through. Boy, I'm gonna have to work hard to get that through, I think. Well, that stinks. If you guys did beads, you were smart. That is just not gonna go through. Well, that is okay. How can we, any ideas on how we can make this bigger? Anybody have any thoughts on how I can make this bigger? This hole bigger? Do you have any thoughts, Chad? Because it's even, I know, darn it, it's even, I have no thoughts. It's just really not.
Can you string the end of that and push it through?
Can I string, can I do what? You think that'll work? I don't think it'll go in there. Maybe in one of those bigger ones that are longer. Does it have a bigger, no, probably doesn't have a bigger eye. Shoot. Well, darn it. I am gonna figure this out because I want my handles to have these. But basically what you're gonna do is
Spaghetti fork?
Spaghetti fork? What's that?
Or a small screwdriver?
Small screwdriver? Yeah, I'm gonna figure this out, ladies, because I'm definitely wanting these on my handles. No doubt about it. Just keep trying. Poke it through there. It's not gonna work. All right, so I'm gonna move on. This is how I'm gonna put my handles on, okay? And once I get them on and my wool felt over them, I'm gonna use thread to secure it to the top of the rim on this basket, okay, so that it'll stay in place, and cut this down so that it doesn't puncture anybody. And try to, you know, lay it flat into the work, okay? So definitely my suggestion is to just, you know, get it placed however you think looks best. Do the same on the other side of your basket. And then once you do that, then you're going to start to put your balls. So you're going to use thread and the needle, and you're going to, I'm just gonna probably double up the, I'm using upholstery thread, so I'm probably just gonna double it up here to go around between my handles, and now this will go through, I know for sure. So I'll at least get these through, right? With the thread. So there's one. I'm gonna string them along, and let me get my scissors. That. Okay, so I'm just going to tie a little knot. Seems like it might stay. There we go. All right. All right, so I'll just keep threading. These cute little felt balls. God, I just love these. I don't know about you guys, but yeah, these are too darn cute. So I am using, can you see? I can't tell if you can see or not. Here we go. I'm just using my table to push the ball down and through the upholstery needle. And again, for those of you who chose beads, you know, this is going to be a much easier task for you. So there I go again. Should have had some of these ready. Okay, lesson learned. Lesson learned number, I don't know how many am I up to now? 5 or 6 lessons learned. What do we have? Is that a different color? That's the same color. How many different colors are in here? 1, 2, 3, 4. Is that it? Looks like it. Okay, so then I just start over with this one. I'm kind of digging this upholstery needle, by the way. I wish it was a little fatter. I really thought it was going to be fat enough for creating that pathway, but I was wrong. Let's see. Okay, so once I get enough on here, I will show you how I'm going to attach this. To the basket. Oof, I gotta push really hard on that one. I can't even get it out. Oh my goodness. Come on, little ball. There we go. Ah, blue. Oh wow, that was really easy to get through. Some of these are definitely tighter felted than others, for sure. I like the looser ones. They seem to be easier to work with. Oh yeah, it's nice. Makes it much quicker. What color do I have next? That mustardy color. Sorry, this is boring. This is kind of boring. Watching me do this, I really need to have this done before I Jeez Louise. What did I do? I went through. There it is. Okay, so after that color is this color. I'll just redo this real quick. There we go. And one more time. Okay. All right, so, God, is this the hard one? This is one of those harder ones. There we go. All right, so I'm just gonna show you real quick. I've got more than enough, I think, to just be able to show you what I'm gonna do here. I'm gonna cut long tail or long end on that. And this will go all the way from one handle to the other, right? You'll have a ball on here. And basically, we're just going to place these along this edge here. And I might need to use a clamp to keep them in place. So there's another note to self. We need a clamp. This is what happens when you do something on the fly. All right, and that's not gonna work. How about in between? We'll just do it in between there. All right, so this is a little clumsy, I know, but I'm just gonna tie this around on the inside of the basket. Can you see that? It's on the just on one leg, and get it in there. And I'm just gonna tie it real quick. We're actually gonna be securing it a different way, but we gotta get it to stay on here first. So I'm gonna just tie that real quick. There we go. And then you'll tie it around your handle, okay, to make sure that it is even with your handle once you do that as well. Okay, and I'm going to do that with this side too. Same thing on the inside, tie it. And then we're gonna use the 6mm hemp cord I showed y'all. Okay, so there. that. We want to make this. We want to make sure that's all together. So I'm gonna tie this down again. There we go. That should be good. All right. So here's where I can tie this. Okay, so there they are, somewhat tied down, but they're not really, are they? Because we've got them hanging off. So we're going to use this hemp cord, and I think I'm going to double mine, but you don't have to if you don't want to. But I think I'm going to double mine up. And I'm going to start from the inside of the basket. I'm going to start right here under both these legs of where my handle is inserted to the basket. And I'm just going to wrap these around. That's all I'm gonna do. So now I'm gonna do it under this next crochet, or this next bind off stitch, I should say. So there we go. And I'm gonna have to pull that all the way through. I think I'm doing something with that's really tight. There, I need to pull it through this way first. There we go. There we go. We just have to pull it all the way through. So we're good with the end. There we go. Okay. Here we go. There's one. And you can see here how that looks. So I'm going to do it again. Oh, there it is. I'm going to just do this between each of the balls. So this is going to come up between this one here. Then I'm going to come up and over to the next bind off chain and place it between the next two. You can do this as loose or as tight as you want. I do mine a little bit tight, kind of keep it secured so it won't go anywhere. All right, and just continue that way, okay? And that will give you these pretty little rimmed, it'll give you a nice little pretty accent on your rim. And if you do this, here we go. There we go. We want to see that a little bit, so you don't want to make it too tight, because you do want to kind of see. I think it adds a nice little decorative feature to the rim, what we're doing here. Okay, and just keep on like that. Does anybody have any questions about how this works? Your beads will work the same way, right? Like if you use wooden beads or other type of beads, they'll work the same way. So, did my dog bark? Did Dexter or Dee Dee bark? See, I'm not even paying attention to them. I didn't even notice. But yeah, I got 2 Yorkies and they love to bark. I'm so sorry if they were barking. They're little stinkers. They hear a dog barking, they gotta bark too. So sorry about that, Brenda. All right, anyway, so it looks here, you can kind of see where it's really attached there, how really cute that's gonna be. Okay, I won't go all the way around here. It's hard to see when really don't like this portrait view. But anyway, you can see how the hemp cord is slightly visible, and it just looks really pretty with the pastel colored beads or balls or whatever it is that you're going to be using for your rim, if you're going to use the rim. But when I figure this out, how to get my felted wool balls over this handle, I'm going to update y'all on that, okay? Everybody doing okay? That's all I got for today. I'm not gonna finish this up and make you suffer through all of it. I really should have had this done in advance. I think my takeaway from this is to have a basket completed all the way to show you what it looks like in the end. So next time I will have that ready and I will do that. But for now, this is what we have. And once I get this finished, because I'm making this for my granddaughters, I shouldn't even say that. I have a grandson now too. He's just like 6 weeks old only. So it's hard to say the girls, to get out of saying the girls. So the grandbabies, that's what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna make this for the grandbabies for Easter with their cute little peeps. And I can show you how the basket is gonna look once we get our cute little peeps in there with our grass. We're gonna place our peeps in the basket. Then we're going to place the grass in our basket. And what I did, again, I cut 3 to 6 inch pieces of chenille yarn in this pretty green, and I did seal the ends, okay? I put them, I fold them in half and I shove them in places. And that's all I do. And look how pretty that is. Just just the few that I've added already. But anyway, I cut oh gosh, probably 70 of these pieces. But it works really well to just fold them in half and lay them around the basket. They'll fall in crevices, but I did enough to make sure that they fill up. And that's it, guys. I do it all the way around too, by the way. I'm just gonna do it in the front here for your viewing pleasure. Okay, and that's all I've got. You guys have a great day, and the next time I go live, I'll know a little bit better what to do, okay? Peace out. How do I stop this thing?
Do it on your phone.
Oh, from the phone? Okay.